Hey, good morning. It's Thursday morning. Bright sunny day. I like it. A little cool, but nice. Parts are coming in. So my bushings came in, and also my front flex lines for the brakes, they came in. So yeah, parts are trickling in, and that's a good thing. So I can move around and do all sorts of different things. I did change my mind on the rack. I ended up painting it. So I'll show you that in a minute. It's still tacky, so I still can't put it in. But I did line up a universal joint for the rack and a double D shaft, the whole unit. Decent price, and in Ontario, Canada. So he's shipping it out today. That's from Hortons down south. Real good people to deal with. So I just left my number yesterday. He got back to me about an hour ago and set me up with what I need. So yeah, that should be here probably Monday, the latest, I would think. Yeah, there's tons to get after, so we might as well just do that. Okay, so I was going over my delivery there. I had to double check. I thought I ordered 2 boxes, but I did not. I only ordered 1. But fortunately for me, I'm only missing half of each one. So these will do the trick. These aren't worn badly at all. They're okay. So I just got to get the ones on the back side over here. So this will do the trick. So actually, I saved money by mistake, but I'll take it. Anyway, I did paint it. I painted it black rather than red because it's kind of an ugly hunk of mechanicalness, if you will. So I didn't want it to stand out too much. I painted it black to match the frame so it would kind of blend in. And, you know, before I painted it, because it's aluminum, I used the zinc chromate primer for aluminum. If you don't do that, the paint will just fall off. So, yeah, primed it first, painted it, 2 good coats, and it looks damn good. But it's still tacky. Like I said, I'm going to let it dry another day. Because I start hammering away or, you know, getting my hands all over it, it's just going to make a mess. So let it dry and come back to it later. And I'm good with that. And then when I do get this thing on and I can bring this thing back up in the air, I'll throw my my flex lines on, and then I can run my front brake lines. So yeah, moving right along. Right now I'm just finishing up some welding on the cab, and I'm going to continue on with that for the next hour or so. And then I'll probably get to the back over here and maybe get my fuel tank all dialed in. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so I have my rack in place. It's bolted up. I've just got to bend back my cotter pins. That's it. So she's in. Got plenty of adjustment this way and that, which is good. And also, my shocks are in. There they are. I'll paint it up, bolt it in, and yeah, everything's looking good. So I'm quite pleased. Now, here's where I was talking about that rag joint. It just to say it hits the cross member here. So like I said, I've got that U joint coming, and then it'll run a straight double D shaft all the way back to the column. And speaking of steering columns, I was online this morning. This is Friday, by the way. I was online this morning looking for columns, and I'm going to tell you a little story about that. But I'll set up the camera first, and we'll have story time. Okay, so welcome to story time at Dirty Dan's Rod and Cycle. Today's story is entitled, How Not to Get Boned Up the Ass on Shipping. So, like I said, I was looking for a steering column this morning, and you know, there's all kinds of them out there. You know, there's a lot of American companies that don't even want to ship to Canada, for one thing, and those that do oftentimes are ridiculous shipping rates. So I found one. I'm not going to say which company, but found one at $379 US, which is not bad. But they only ship UPS. UPS was $200 shipping US. So now we're up to 500 and say 580 for a round number. The problem with UPS is they don't include the border fees, taxes, and other fees in their shipping quote. And in my experience, UPS, when they get here and drop off the package COD, that COD charge is just as much as the shipping quote was. So you can double it. So now we're talking 400 American for shipping. So now we're up to, 380 plus 200, 580, plus another 200, that's 780. Put the exchange on the dollar on that, we're up over $1,000. So over $1,000 for that $380 steering column. So I go on Amazon, Amazon.ca, Canadian money, got the same column, shipped to my door for $339 Canadian plus HST, 13%. So under $400. So I know Mr. Bezos has all the money in the world and whatever, but I don't care. The bottom line is what comes out of my pocket. So 400 versus over 1,000. I'm taking the 400 every time, and so I ordered it. Should be here in a week. So yeah, check Amazon first, man, because I'm telling you, and they carry everything. Everything's on there, just whatever, anything you could imagine. And by the time it gets to your door, it's almost a third the price of buying it direct from a company down south. So it is what it is. So that's story time. Anyway, we're gonna get back on the. I'll get to the gas tank after this. Show you where I'm at on that. All right, so I took the tank off the frame, but before I did, I marked all my holes with a Sharpie, and I've drilled them all. So drilled right through. So the simple mounting thing. But now I've got to finish welding up all the joints all the way around. That's why I've got the frame up in the air, and yeah, so that's my next step. Clean up all the welds and then get some paint on this so I can put the tank back in place permanent. But I'm not going to get to the welding until tomorrow. I've got a thing to go to, and I don't get out of the house too often, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. And yeah, we'll come back to this in the morning. Probably go do it on time lapse, weld it all in, clean it up, and paint it. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. So good morning. It's Saturday. Last night I went to they call it a wild game dinner. It was deer and moose and bear and various rodents and roadkill and different types of fish and all that stuff. And it was really good. One guy pulled out of the freezer, pulled a bottle of some celebrity tequila, I don't know, ZZ Top or something, and offered the boys a shot. So I was polite and I had a shot, and it was pretty good. I hadn't drank that stuff in years, and so I was polite, 5 or 6 more times. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little fuzzy today, but hopefully I don't set myself on fire, and we'll get that tank mount welded in and cleaned up and ready for paint. So yeah, might as well just get to it. Okay, so welding and grinding, and yeah, she's done. So it looks good, and like I said, all the holes are drilled. So just gonna paint it up. I even welded in a little tab here to take my rear brake hose. Just goes from there to here, and yeah, from here I can run my my brake lines, you know, all the way to the front now. So yeah, I'm going to paint it up, and when the paint's dry, I'll throw the brand new sending unit into the tank and install it. We're going to put some rubber here, but I'm going to paint it first and let it dry. So there we go. Okay, so while I was messing around at the back of the truck for the tank, got a delivery. Some parts from Horton's Hot Rod Parts. That's the steering pieces I needed, the universal joint and the shaft. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I ordered it Thursday just before lunch, and it showed up this morning, Saturday, fairly early this morning, around 10:30. So yeah, I'll just grab the camera and I'll show you what we got. Don't mind the noise here. So there's the universal joint right there. So in case you're wondering, the shaft coming out of the rack is 3/4 inch 36 spline. So you got, you know, 3/4 inch 36 spline by what fits in here is a double D shaft, and double D refers to the shape of the shaft. It kind of looks like two capital letter D's back to back. So they give you a 2-foot length of this, and that'll bring me right back to my column. My steering column is going to be coming in around this area here somewhere. So yeah, it'll just be a straight run from the rack to the column. I'll have to cut that double D shaft to fit, and yeah, it'll be golden. So, you know, I like a nice straight run. Sometimes you'll see, you know, a steering linkage, there's like 5 of these things all turning different ways and everything else. And you're just asking for, you know, troubles with binding and stuff like that. So yeah, super happy, stoked. Hopefully my column comes in early next week. But I gotta wait till I get the cab back on the frame. But we're getting close to being ready for that anyhow. Once I run a few brake lines and fuel line, yeah, there's no reason not to put the cab back on. Sure would be nice to get my torque converter though. Damn. Anyway, so that's where I'm at, and looking good. Okay, so while the paint is drying, might as well go ahead and put the fuel sending unit in place. It's real simple. So I'll just put a rubber in here. It's in that little groove. Now this can only go in one way. See, there's 2 little tabs on the back here. They fit in these little slots. There we go, got started. We got these little tabs right here, and just tap that in place. that's it. It's as far as she'll go. So it's ready to bolt into the frame. Okay, so there we go. Fuel tank's ready to go in once the paint is dry on the frame. Once I get that done, then I can paint the rear axle and finish that all off. So crossing things off my list for the chassis, and that was the goal. So I'm super stoked that the steering worked out as good as it did. That's sweet. So you know, that's a big deal. Steering, getting that all organized. So I'm pleased with that, and so now I guess I'm going to get myself some brake lines for the front and the rear. I can run a bunch of that stuff. I can also pick up some about 12 feet of fuel line, steel fuel line, and a little bit of rubber hose just to make the connections. Run the fuel line up to the engine, and yeah, maybe put the fuel pump on the engine and a bunch of other pieces, and you know, we'll get on that on the next video. What else? Yeah, gonna keep going with body work in between on the cab. I haven't been showing it, but I have been doing it. It's coming along. So like I said, eventually I'm gonna have to get this thing back on the frame to figure out my brake pedal and the column, where exactly I'm gonna have to cut that double D shaft and hook it up to the steering column. So yeah, but that's probably another week and a half or so away. Yeah, just gonna carry on with all these all sorts of stuff, and you know, eventually it's all gonna come together. So new subscribers, again, another good bunch, and I appreciate it. You know, tell your buddies, tell your chums, spread the word. That's how it's getting out there. And you know, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, and you know, don't be afraid to leave comments below the video after you've watched it, good or bad. All good to me. I enjoy reading them, and I do respond to pretty much all of them. Yeah, and so if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.